Big weekend of sports, MG, and of course, I think we need to kick off with the fact that we had so many massive scores. That 72 win against the Tigers, wasn't that just incredible? Should we be concerned?
I think a little bit, Matty. Yeah, I think somewhat. There was 466 points scored in the round, the seventh most of all time. It's the most since round 2 of 1998, which I happened to play in that round, and it's the most points in an 8-game round, and it's amazing. The total margin of victory was 258 points, so that's the second largest of all time, which I actually played in the round when it last happened in 1995 as well. So 6 teams scored 40 points over the weekend, and apart from the South Sydney and Penrith game and the Raiders and the Knights, every other game was a blowout. Are they concerning? Look, with a new team coming in the competition next year in the Dolphins, I think we've just got to have a little bit of a pause button on the 18th team.
Yeah.
Because the team's not vying for the top 8. There's 6 teams that they kind of do give up a bit subconsciously. You don't mean to give up, but when there's no carrot dangled in front of you, which is i.e. the semi-finals, there's kind of there's no real purpose about your footy. I mean, of course you got to have some, you've got to look at the emblem on your chest and go, well, that's what we're playing for.
Yeah.
But saying that, it's hard when you're out of contention. I'm not sure how to fix it, to be honest. I think this time of year it happens. We've had 2 years of a pandemic. This is the first kind of season we've been uninterrupted. And what's happening is that the real good teams are rising to the top.
What do you think?
Does it highlight?
Sorry, Jess. What do you think the mood would have been like after that game? Because it is quite a demoralising loss.
The 72 points to 6 you talk about?
Yeah.
Shocking. Well, it's the Roosters' last one at the SCG. The Tigers, obviously, James Tarmow got sent off for calling the referee effing incompetent, which he's kind of apologised for, and he'll take his 2 weeks. And Sydney out. Some of the score lines. But I must confess, Jess, I love footy. I love rugby league. But some of these games over the weekend, I couldn't watch the full game. They were over by half time. So that's the concerning thing. And I think the viewership might mirror that as well, because a lot of people would have thought, well, you know what, this game's already won. So there's talk about a draft, there's talk about this, there's talk about that. It's just the good teams are getting good, the bad teams are getting worse.
Yes,
Ooh, yes.
MG's Power Rankings, of course, every Monday are the best 5 players of the weekend, MG.
That's right, Matty. And this week and going forward for the Monday Power Rankings, we'll be adding an extra person because the NRLW started, the 5th season of that, and I'll be naming my NRLW player of the round as well. And this week it goes to a young lady who had 3 try assists, 171 run metres, 11 tackle busts, 2 line breaks, the mummy of 2, Sam Bremner.
Turning, finds Bremner on the outside. Another try assist, is it for the fullback? It is.
Every time Sam Bremner gets a ball in her hand, she is threatening.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Parramatta Eels bounced back again, 42 points to 6 over the Bulldogs, and their halves, Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown, starred.
Then Moses puts a kick in. Here's Brown again, chasing it. Regathers right beside the post. Wow. And they do it again. The Parramatta half, the 7 and the 6. Dylan Brown goes over.
Wow.
I say, being a Parramatta Eels fan is like having bipolar. We are up and we are down. Like, I'm so emotionally drained, but I love them so much, I refuse to leave their side.
That's so true.
Oh, look, he's a Panther. He had a fantastic game against South Sydney. He ran for 150 metres. He made 2 line breaks, 6 tackle busts, and he scored the match-winning tries. The Panthers wrapped up the minor premiership, 26 points to 22 over the Rabbitohs. I speak of Liam Martin.
And Coruscant, he then gets on to Martin, crashes through, crashes over. Liam Martin wins the game. Liam Martin gets over, and he has dominated this contest, and it's Liam Martin that clinches the J.J. Giltner Shield for the Panthers.
Yeah, wow.
An awesome game.
Amazing.
Game.
Let's go number 3.
Nico Hines, he scored 20 of the 40 points the Sharkies put on the hapless Manly. 2 try assists. He's also in running for the buy of the year. I think he's the buy of the year. Nico Hines.
There every week now. Moylan's kick. Hines is on the roll. Oh, it's hit the padding. He's still got it. A little bit of magic from the Sharks.
2.
Wow. You could have picked any of these Roosters players when they racked up 72 points against the hapless West Tigers, but I thought the best was a 3-try assist, 4 line break assists, 2 forced dropouts, and 110 running murders. Luke Keary had the ball on a string.
It's out to Keary. Mo Tupou, there's 50.
Keary loves this left side of the field. The offload, picks it up, works his magic, dummy, in behind, round the corner. Daniel Tupou with yet another try.
Yeah, the player of the round for mine is now called Harry Houdini by his teammate Brandon Smith. He scored 1 try, 2 try assists, 2 line breaks, 120 running murders, 4 tackle breaks, 34 tackles. They put on 60 points against the Broncos. Harry Houdini is Harry Grant.
Nasty collision there. Xavier Coates is okay. I thought it was a head clash. Now, Harry Grant. Harry Grant will score. Harry Grant. Try awarded. Melbourne score early in the second half.
Yeah, too good.
Yeah, getting into this one. First up, MG, the most impressive team of the round.
Well, take your pick. 6 teams scored 40 points or more, but I can't go past the Roosters. 72 points they put on in their last ever performance at the SCG, with I was saying bon voyage as they move over to Allianz. So Roosters, Matty, with my most impressive team of the round.
All right, most disappointing team of round 23.
Look, it'd be easy to say the Tigers, so I'm not going to kick them while they're down. I think the Broncos were the most disappointing, being beaten by Melbourne Storm 60-12 with their season on the line. Every chance they could miss the 8. It's actually looking more likely by the day that the Raiders might find that 8th position. So, yeah, the Broncos for mine.
They did well. Most surprising team of the round.
I've got to say the Eels. Eels, Jess mentioned it earlier, they're hot, they're cold, they're hot, they're cold. Well, they were very hot against the Bulldogs, 42 points to 6, and you've got to think their top 4 spot is still alive. So the Eels were the most surprising team of the round for mine.
Biggest issue from the round?
There's going to be talk about this today and tomorrow. It's the blowouts. It's what do we do for these teams that towards the end of the year have no chance of making the 8, and they kind of capitulate somewhat. But it's just it's part and parcel of the game. I think it's just, if you haven't got that carrot dangled in front of you to play finals footy, the luster goes out of the game. So it's one of them fait accomplis that you're going to have in rugby league, I'm afraid.
Yep, it's MG's Golden Points, all thanks to Blue Bet, and the player of the round, MG.
Well, it's Harry Grant. Harry Grant was my player of the round. He was fantastic. If you missed it earlier, I said that Sammy Bremner was my NRLW player of the round, and Harry Grant was my NRL player of the round.
Speaking of Blue Bet, we've got some listener questions, MG, because just wondering, who do you reckon's going to win the Dally M this year?
You know what? I think Dylan Edwards has a chance from Penrith. Is a late season charge. I think maybe Isaiah Yeo from Penrith. I think Nico Hines is the guy who's coming from nowhere. I think Nico Hines is going to be a bolter for the Dally M Player of the Year.
Well, his odds are shortening, so even Blue Bet thinks so. Oliver, and this is probably on the back of the most impressive team of the round, apart from the Panthers.
Yep.
What do you reckon about the Roosters? Do you reckon they're danger to get into the finals?
Well, they could be the first team to win the grand final outside of the top 4. If I had to say that any team in that bottom 4 could win the comp, I'd say it'd be the Roosters. They're the team that I would be most worried about if I am one of the top 4 teams. So, the Roosters for mine are the most dangerous in the finals, apart from the Penny Panthers.